So I do a lot of embossing onto rounds, brass rounds, steel rounds, whatever. And I had somebody that wanted me to make a bunch of these steel rounds that have this text on them. And I think, okay, well, that's great. This thing can handle just solid text, no problem. I even have a preset saved for it, shallow solid black, with 600 millimeters per second, two passes, 200 lines per centimeter. This will give me about maybe a half a millimeter deep punched straight into the metal. The only problem is on this particular coin, which is about a 35 millimeter round, it's going to take it a considerable amount of time to actually do the work. In fact, it's way more than it should be. And so what I want to do today is actually show you how to emboss something like this so that it takes much less time. So what I'm going to do first is, here is this full coin, right? You can see the whole coin. I've got this other thing underneath it. We'll save that for a minute from now. But here's the coin itself. And what I'm going to do is just going to go ahead and process this. I got my output turned on. We're just going to hit go to process, and we'll see what the estimated amount of time that it's going to take to actually run this is going to be. And I'm connected through USB right now. If you do this over Wi-Fi, it takes a lot longer. But if you'll notice down the bottom left corner of the screen, it says calculating 1 hour and 48 minutes. Now, that doesn't sound too terrible, but what if I told you I could get that down under an hour and do the exact same work? Let me explain. So the way the laser works, as you know, is there's a beam that sweeps back and forth, left and right, left and right, left and right, as it works its way down the piece. And then it'll do two passes in this case, and then it'll angle it just a little bit and do that. That's actually what the engraving angle is. If you didn't know, engraving angle is after it does the first pass, which is just left to right, now it's going to go at a 75-degree angle. And then the next time after that, it'll go at another 75-degree angle. So that's what that is. But anyways, as it gets over these spots right here, that laser turns on, turns off, turns on, turns off. And it's turning on and turning off and turning on and turning off and turning on and off and on and off over and over and over and over and over again. And it's got to go back and forth across the entire piece every single time it wants to do the whole thing. And I got to thinking, what would happen if it didn't have to do that? So what I actually did is I went into Photoshop, and I've got my my piece here, but on my layers tab, I've actually cut it into individual little pieces. And so what it's going to do now is it's going to emboss this and only this. And then it's going to stop, and then it's going to start with this one, and it's going to only do this one. And so basically I cut it into little pieces, and I made a whole bunch of files. I made 8 files here. And that's what's actually in this group. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off and turn this on. And then you can see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And each one is a different piece of the puzzle. Now, there are some concerns about the way the descend on z-axis function works. There is a glitch where it actually, if you've got multiple passes, it will actually duplicate the descent as well. So I've got this set up so that it just does 2 passes and does not descend. So the head will stay at 20.4 millimeters the whole time, and theoretically, it will literally do the entire job piece by piece. It'll do this part first, then it'll do this part, 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 and on and on and on until it's done. Now, if you remember just a minute ago when we checked this, it was going to take 1 hour and 48 minutes to do the entire job. So I have this coin is now disabled, and these are all now enabled. The settings are all identical. Let's see what happens. So we're going to go to process. Before it was 1 hour and 48 minutes, and now the exact same job cut into little teeny tiny pieces is going to take, wait for it. And by the way, I know this doesn't work if you're doing embossing of art, right? This is good for embossing text, This will save you a ton of time, especially if you're doing things like awards, gifts, or customized products where it has text that changes. You can actually cut that text out. So, okay, it went from an hour and 48. Now it's calculating an hour and 19 minutes. That saved 30 minutes. That's 30 minutes of time that you can actually now put towards your next project. So I just thought I'd go ahead and share that with you. And I'm going to get to work hammering this out, get it done, and there you go. If you have any questions, drop me a line in the comment section. I do read every comment, and I actually have plenty more tips that are coming soon. For instance, tips on how to, if you've got the laser fume box, how to cheaply replace the filters in that, and also good hacks and tips on how to focus your laser, as well as access to some secret menus that you don't know you have. But anyways, all right, folks, have a good day, and see you in the next video. Bye.